The slave market on Velka 9 stank of rust, sweat, and despair. Beneath the crimson sky, lined with looming wrecked ships and twisted metal, the auctioneer barked over a half-broken megaphone. 5 credits. Anyone? This one's still breathing. The girl in question was curled in a rusted cage, her silver-blue skin marred with burns and cracks. Her long, torn wings drooped like wilted leaves. She was no older than 20 by human standards, but already looked halfway to death. The hologram board above her blinked. Species, tory. Status, defective. Price, negotiable. No one came forward. Bah! Useless junk, spat the auctioneer. He kicked the cage and motioned to 2 bulky Draxian guards. Take her to the grinder. Get a few screws worth of scrap out of her. The girl's dim, violet eyes widened with fear as the guards unlocked the cage and dragged her toward the looming scrap facility, its giant jaws pulsing like a beast eager for metal and bone alike. On the edge of the crowd, a human man watched silently. Jace Marlowe had seen a lot since joining the salvage fleets. Alien wars. Ruined colonies. Markets like this one. Places where broken lives were cheaper than bolts. He wasn't here to play hero. He was looking for ship parts and maybe a cheap maintenance droid. But when he saw her, thin, bruised, wings broken but still curled protectively, something cracked inside him. "Hey," he said, stepping forward. The guards froze. The auctioneer turned. "What's this? You buying?" Jace gestured to the girl. "How much?" The auctioneer laughed. "She's worthless. Not even worth the iron in her bones. But if you want her, say, 2 credits. Hell, 1. Just take her." Jace reached into his worn jacket and tossed over a chit. "Done." The crowd murmured as he stepped past the guards and knelt beside the girl. Her eyes locked on his, wide, fearful, stunned. "It's okay," he said gently. "You're safe now." She flinched when he reached out, but he only lifted her into his arms. Her frail body was light, too light. She trembled, unable to speak. He carried her away from the grinder's shadow. Jace's ship, the Emberwake, was modest. A patchwork freighter outfitted for long-haul salvage. He laid the girl, still silent, on the med table. The ship's AI scanned her. "Severe malnutrition," it reported. "Wing fractures. Internal bleeding. Nerve degradation. Tory lifespan compromised, though biologically she remains viable." Jace watched her as she stared up at the ceiling, not blinking. "What's your name?" he asked. Her lips moved slowly. Valari. "Do you want to live, Valari?" Her eyes flicked to his face, unsure. "I do," she whispered, almost too softly to hear. Recovery was slow. Valari barely spoke. She flinched at sudden sounds. Wouldn't eat unless Jace coaxed her. Her wings remained bound in recovery braces. Jace didn't ask about her past. She offered nothing. But each day she grew a little stronger, a little more present. One night, as Jace adjusted the ship's stabilizers, she wandered into the cockpit and watched the stars scroll by. You didn't have to save me," she said quietly. "No," Jace replied. "I didn't." She looked at him. "Why did you?" He thought about that. "Because I couldn't stand the thought of you going into that grinder. No one should end like that." She lowered her head. "I was meant for it. I'm broken." He turned in his seat, meeting her gaze. "Then I guess I like broken things. Especially when they fight to live." Days turned into weeks. Valari began helping, sorting parts, scanning salvage, even assisting with hull repairs. She laughed once, at a clumsy tool drop, and Jace had to stop himself from staring. The sound was music. One night, after another long day, They sat on the cargo ramp, looking out at a shimmering gas field. Valari's wings, now unbound, shimmered faintly in the glow. "I was born on Alantar," she said. "A world of clouds and sky beasts. But when the SYTH raided, they took the young, the weak. They sold us off-world. I fought back. Broke a guard's jaw. They called me defective. Laughed when I screamed. Eventually, I stopped." Jace didn't speak. He just sat there beside her. "But when you looked at me," she said, voice shaking, "I didn't feel worthless. You looked at me like I mattered." "You do matter," Jace said. She turned to him. "To you." He nodded. "More than I can explain." She leaned into him slowly, her head against his shoulder. "Then I'll keep living. If only for you." Trouble came when they docked at a frontier station to sell scrap. A local thug recognized Valari, saw the slave mark burned into her shoulder. "Hey, pretty thing," the thug said, grabbing her arm. "Didn't expect to see you out and walking. Your kind sells well in the back markets." Before Jace could act, Valari slammed her elbow into the thug's jaw and twisted his arm behind his back. He howled. She let him fall and looked around at the staring crowd. Her voice rang out strong and proud. "I'm not for sale. Not anymore." Back aboard the Emberwake, Jace chuckled. "You've gotten fierce." "I was always fierce," she said with a smile. "You just reminded me." She stepped closer. "Jace, do you ever wish you hadn't stopped that day?" He frowned. "What?" "That you just let me be scrapped. Saved yourself the trouble." He stood, took her hands, and looked into her glowing violet eyes. "Never. You've changed everything. I thought I was just surviving. Now, I'm living." She tilted her head. "And if I wanted to stay with you? Always. Then that would make me the luckiest salvage rat in the galaxy." Valari smiled, leaned in, and kissed him softly, her wings wrapping around them both. They flew on together, no longer broken pieces, but whole in a way only those who've survived the worst can understand. And on every station, every world, when someone saw the strange silver-winged woman by the human side, they whispered about her beauty and grace. No one remembered she'd once been sold for nothing. Because now, she was priceless.